Today is Election Day and the results are starting to pour in. We'll let you know which ones have been called and which ones are still too close to call. We take a look at amendments 1 through 4 on the ballot in West Virginia, along with issues 1 and 2 in Ohio. Meteorologist Sarah Coleman has your forecast, and Evan Lasik joins us in sports. WTAP News at 11 starts now.
This is a WTAP News Decision 2022 General Election Update.
The midterm election is today, and control of Congress is on the line. Good evening, and thank you for joining us this Election Day. I'm Phyllis Smith. Before we dive into election coverage, let's check with meteorologist Sarah Coleman. She joins us now for a quick look at the forecast. Sarah.
Thanks, Phyllis. We're seeing cooler weather right now, but tomorrow that'll be a little different. There's a red flag warning that's going to be in effect from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. for the entire Mid-Ohio Valley because we'll be seeing dry, warm, and windy conditions. Right now, though, the Jandale Skycam atop the Lafayette Hotel is showing 48 degrees outside, as well as a slight wind out of the east-northeast at 7 miles per hour. We're also seeing local temperatures in those low to mid to even upper 40s. Parkersburg is at 48 right now, but Athens is down to 40 already. And we'll continue to see those drop overnight because it is fairly clear outside. Radar and satellites not showing anything right now. And as we take a look at our day planner for tomorrow, we do have sunny conditions all day with a high around 60, it looks like. In my full forecast, I'll talk about how long this dry weather will last. But for now, back to you, Phyllis.
Thank you, Sarah. The race between Tim Ryan and J.D. Vance for U.S. Senate in Ohio is being closely watched. It could determine if Republicans gain control of the Senate. Right now, Republican J.D. Vance is pulling ahead with over 50% of the vote. Democrat Tim Ryan has a little over 45% of the vote. We'll continue to keep our eye on this one. Incumbent Jimmy Colombo and Democrat Simon Hargis ran against each other for Wood County Commission. Colombo looks to be the winner with 62% of the vote. Harry Ditzler and Bob Fehrenbacher are battling out for the West Virginia House of Delegates District 11 seat. Fehrenbacher has secured 59% of the vote. Incumbent Bill Anderson is trying to fight off Democratic challenger J. Morgan Leach in the hopes for the House of Delegates 10th district seat. And Anderson has been successful by getting 71% of the vote. Vernon Criss will be holding on to his seat for another term. He defeated Democrat Jonathan Defabaugh and Libertarian Stephen Smith. Our Alexa Griffey was at the courthouse as those results came in, and she got to talk to some of the candidates. She joins us now live in the studio. Alexa, what can you tell us about the candidates' reactions to those unofficial results?
Well, Phyllis, I did get to speak with a couple of the candidates after those results came in over at the courthouse. One of those candidates was incumbent James Colombo, who is running for re-election for the Wood County Commission seat. He says he's feeling good and he is excited and he appreciates the support that he has been receiving.
I'm just proud to be elected again and represent our county. I love this job and I love the people I work with.
Another one of the candidates I spoke to was Bob Fehrenbacher. He was the unofficial winner for that West Virginia House of Delegates 11th district seat. Now, Fehrenbacher said that he was thrilled with the results.
I'm just ecstatic that the voters in District 11 have had faith in me and voted and given me unofficial results to be their delegate.
Fehrenbacher also said he has some thanks to give and some signs to take down, but after that, he'll be learning about what it means to be a delegate so he can accomplish the things that will help Wood County, the Mid-Ohio Valley, and the Mountain State. And I know we have a lot more to cover, so for now, back to you, Phyllis.
Alexa Griffey reporting live in the studio. Alexa, thank you. It was a big night for the Wood County school levy. The excess levy needed 50% of the vote to pass, and it got 63%. The Belpre City Schools levy, on the other hand, has been defeated. Voters were not able to get that through. In the race for Wood County Circuit Clerk, it is Republican Celeste Waldron Ridgway topping Democrat James Chris Alfred. Ohio U.S. House District 6, Bill Johnson and Louis Liris, Congressman Johnson, he is headed back to Washington, winning another term in the U.S. Congress. Mitchell Bleha joins us now live in the Digital Center for reaction to both school levies in Wood County and Belpre. Mitchell.
The Belpre Schools levy came up short once again for the 9th time since 1990, while Wood County's passed. Officials say that the levy in Wood County will allow for additional positions, including school nurses, counselors, resource teachers, and more, as well as making wages and pay for teachers more competitive to attract teachers to the area. $2.5 million of the renewal budget will be used for safety and security. The levy's total worth is roughly $21 million, around 14% of the district's operating budget, without raising taxes. Moving from one school district to the next, the Belpre City Schools levy was voted down. The schools levy would have given the state of Ohio to contribute a little over $22 million to the school buildings. Those in favor of the levy say that the levy is necessary in providing more up-to-date facilities at the schools, with some buildings getting up to 70 to 80 years old. However, people against the levy are saying that they will be voting against it because of inflation and not wanting to see their taxes go up. Belpre City Schools Superintendent Jeff Greenlee says that he is glad to see the people of Belpre taking part in voting, but the need for promoting schools and upgrades is still at the forefront. Greenlee says that the Belpre Board of Education will come together to discuss the next steps, including the next time it will put the levy back on the ballot. Now, back to you in the studio.
Mitchell Bleha reporting live in the Digital Center. Mitchell, thank you. We now turn our attention to the race for Ohio governor. Republican incumbent Mike DeWine has won a second term in office. He defeated Democrat Nan Whaley, who had hoped to regain a seat last won by her party 16 years ago. Back in Wood County, the Wood County levy passed with more than 60% of the vote that it needed to pass. And Jay Edwards has also held on to his seat for re-election. Tanya Conrath had challenged him, and it looks like Jay Edwards has gotten nearly 60% of the vote. And Michael Azinger is the unofficial winner of this race for the West Virginia House of Delegates District 3, defeating Jody Murphy. And Scott Heckert has won his race with 72% of the vote. And Andrea Red Greer got 28% of the vote. And Laura Bowen is going to join us now live in the studio with more reaction to some of these races. Laura, you have been following these races all night long. What can you tell us from some of the winners?
Well, it is a big day for local libraries. The Wood County Library levy has passed. Director Brian Rates tells me he's relieved. And some of that funding will get Williamstown a new building for its library, which officials have told me is much needed.
It's huge, and Williamstown's been waiting for this, and they deserve it. So we're going to get that. We're going to be talking to the city of Williamstown, and hopefully we can get started very soon.
Republican Joe Gonzalez has won the Wood County clerk seat. A big focus for him will be transparency. He says he wants people to feel comfortable calling in to ask questions about the election process so that he can show people our elections are safe and secure.
I am so excited. I'm so fortunate that all the citizens of Wood County, were supportive of me and are giving me this opportunity to represent the Wood County Clerk's office.
Republican Scott Heckert won the West Virginia House of Delegates District 13 race. He says he'll be focusing on infrastructure and jobs.
I'm humbled by the support I received before the election and after the election, and my goal is to just work for Wood County as a whole, work for everybody, Republicans, Democrats, it don't matter to me.
And Republican Mike Azinger won West Virginia State Senate seat District 3. He says this win shows that local people want a conservative who fights for what he refers to as godly values in office. We'll have more from him on Daybreak and our online article.
Laura Bowen reporting live in the studio. Laura, thank you. Alex Mooney has won his race with 65% of the vote over Barry Wendell. Alex Mooney has been in Congress for quite some time, and he won the seat after West Virginia lost one of those seats due to a drop in its population. The race for House District 95 in Ohio has been called for Don Jones with 75% of the vote. The race for West Virginia House of Delegates District 14 has been called for Republican Dave Foggin with over 75% of the vote, and for Wood County Clerk Joe Gonzalez and J.R. Carpenter faced off. This race has been called for Joe Gonzalez, who is Republican. And it looks like Republican Jody Lynn Davis has been elected over Jacob C. Richards for Pleasants County Clerk. We just want to remind you we will have continuing coverage during Wake Up MOV and Daybreak of the election, and you can also go to WTAP.com/politics/election results to see up-to-date election results, and we also have a ticker going at the bottom of your screen. Still ahead, our election coverage continues with results about West Virginia Amendments 1 through 4 and Ohio issues 1 and 2. That story is next at 11.
We've been enjoying some sunny and dry weather recently, but how much longer will it last? I'll talk about that in my full forecast next at 11.
Tonight's news poll is sponsored by Baker & Baker Jewelers and by the Basement Doctor of West Virginia. Serving Parkersburg, Marietta, and the entire Mid-Ohio Valley. You're watching WTAP News at 11.
Let's turn our attention to statewide amendments in both Ohio and West Virginia. Amendment 2 in West Virginia is also known as the Personal Property Tax Modernization Amendment, and it's been talked about quite a lot. It would give the state legislature authority to reduce or eliminate 6 categories of tangible personal property taxes. A little over 50% of voters are against it right now, and we'll be sure to keep you updated about this race. Now to the 4th amendment on the ballot. That would allow the State Board of Education to submit its rules of policies to the legislature to amend, approve, or repeal. And so far, voters are voting against this issue. Amendment 1 right now in West Virginia, a little over 50% of voters are against it, and over 40% of them are for it. Now to Amendment 3, the incorporation of religious denominations and churches measure. It looks like about 63% of voters are for this measure, while about 37% are against. Next, we head to Ohio to talk about the issues on its ballot. Issue 1 will require courts to consider factors like public safety, the seriousness of the offense, a person's criminal record, and a person's likelihood of returning to court when setting a bail amount. So far, it is passing with over 70% of the vote. And on to issue 2 in Ohio, it's the Citizenship Voting Requirement Amendment. This would prohibit local government from allowing non-citizens or those who lack the qualifications of an elector to vote in local elections. Right now, it is passing with over 70% of the vote, and we'll keep you updated about these races. Let's check with meteorologist Sarah Coleman for another look at the forecast. Sarah.
Thanks, Phyllis. We've been seeing dry conditions recently, and tomorrow it's going to be elevated just a little bit. There is a red flag warning in effect for the entire Mid-Ohio Valley from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. Once again, that is for tomorrow. We will be seeing dry conditions with humidities around 20%, warm temperatures up near 60 to mid to upper 60s tomorrow, as well as winds. The wind speed will be around 5 to 10 miles an hour with gusts up to about 25 miles per hour. It just means that if there is a fire, it has easier chance of spreading. So just be careful tomorrow if you're doing anything. And as we take a look at our current temperatures in the Highmark, West Virginia Skycam, we can see it's 48 degrees outside with a feels like temperature of 45. That is because there is a wind out of the east-northeast at 7 miles per hour, bringing with it not only colder temperatures, but also drier conditions. Dew points 31%, which is making the humidity 52%. Local temperatures, we're sitting in those mid 30s to upper 40s. Parkersburg's at 48, but Athens is already down to 37 tonight, and we'll continue to see those drop. That is because there is high pressure up in Canada, bringing with it dropping down cooler temperatures and drier conditions, which is why that red flag warning is in effect for tomorrow. Just a quick closer look, we can see clear skies are overhead right now in the Mid-Ohio Valley, but that's going to be changing as we look at tomorrow. We're going to start off with clear skies tomorrow and into Thursday as well, but as we move through the day Thursday, clouds are going to start building in, as well as the chance for rain. Here at 10 a.m. we can see that we've already had a lot of rain so far, but that shouldn't cause any issues with flooding or anything like that because we have been seeing such dry conditions. It'll continue to rain and potentially heavy at times throughout the day Friday here at 1:30. Just rain galore. 11 p.m. it looks like a pretty strong band of rain will be moving through associated with a cold front, which will dramatically drop temperatures. Tonight though, it's going to be mostly clear outside with temperatures down to 36 degrees. And as we move through the day tomorrow, whenever kids get on the bus, it is going to be pretty chilly, 38 degrees outside. But when they get off the bus, it's going to be nice, warm, 66 degrees outside with that slight breeze and dry conditions. 7-day forecast does have breezy conditions tomorrow and Thursday, but that cold front will move through Friday, giving us rain and chilly temperatures, low 40s for much of the weekend and the start of our work week. Tonight's winner for Sketch the Outdoors contest, sponsored by People's Bank, is Bald Eagle by Bryson Sharp, age 7, from St. Mary's. If you'd like to enter the daily contest, submit your digital copy of your child's outdoor artwork on our WTAP webpage. Look for the entry Sketch the Outdoors and follow the directions to upload and enter. A new winner is drawn each weekday and presented at both the 6 and 11 p.m. newscasts. Back to you, Phyllis.
Very fitting for today. Thank you,
for
Sarah.
Sure.
Still ahead, the Meigs County Sheriff says he is resigning. We'll tell you more about his decision to leave the position. That story is next at 11. One man is dead following an officer-involved shooting on Sunday, November 6th in Pleasants County, West Virginia. The shooting happened between 7 and 7:30 p.m. on Federal Ridge Road in Pleasants County, according to First Sergeant Oki Starsick with the West Virginia State Police. Emergency personnel were called there at first for a trailer fire. While firefighters were putting out the fire, state police say a man named Kenneth Brewer went into a cabin on the property and started firing at the first responders on scene. Deputies returned fire and no emergency personnel or law enforcement were hurt. An autopsy for Brewer will be done in Charleston, West Virginia at the medical examiner's office. Pleasants County Sheriff Chuck Menkins says the 2 deputies involved are on administrative leave with pay. Authorities say the cabin was also on fire, and based on reports from the scene, Brewer is believed to have started both fires. Meigs County Sheriff Keith Wood has announced he will be resigning as sheriff after almost a decade. According to a news release from the Meigs County Sheriff's Office, Sheriff Wood will resign from his position on Friday, November 11th at 11 a.m. Sheriff Wood said it was not an easy decision to make, but he based the decision on his health and his family. Sheriff Wood has been in law enforcement for 45 years, beginning his career as a deputy for the Meigs County Sheriff's Office, the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, and was sworn in as the Meigs County Sheriff in January 2013. You can read his full statement about his resignation on WTAP.com. West Virginia Navigator representatives will be coming to town on Thursday for a free sign-up event. The sign-up event will be at the Blennerhassett Hotel in Parkersburg from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. The Navigators will be signing up residents for health plans based on their income. Program Director Jeremy Smith says he believes programs like this create a healthier and happier community.
Over the years, we've done a lot of great events in the Parkersburg area, and it just makes it a healthier community because people can get signed up for health insurance this way. And that way, when they have problems, they can go see their doctor.
The final sign-up date for health insurance to qualify for 2023 will be January 15th. Coming up next, we talk to one of the people that makes elections run smoothly. Meet poll worker Roxanne Marshall next at 11. We are shining a light on the work poll workers do during Election Day. Roxanne Marshall has volunteered at the Washington County Fairgrounds for over 8 years now. She says one of the reasons she comes back to volunteer is to be able to socialize with everyone who comes to vote. But the main reason is the reason that change can be created throughout the nation by voting.
I think voting is an important process, and seeing that it's done, and it takes a lot of bodies and a lot of man hours and people to get the job done. And it's part of the reason why I do it.
The polls in West Virginia and Ohio closed at 7:30 p.m. tonight. Coming up in sports, Evan Lasik is going to have highlights from today's Ohio High School Girls State Soccer Tournament. That and more when we come back.
What's up, everybody? I know we had a very busy day of elections, but we also had a huge day for one of our local high school teams as the Marietta Lady Tigers soccer team traveled to Columbus for their first ever game in the Division II state semifinals. Girls soccer semifinals, Ohio Division II, the Marietta Lady Tigers taking on undefeated Waynesville. 10 minutes in, Samantha Urbach going to cross to Jillian Lane, and she dribbles this one into the net. The Spartans lead it 1-0 early on. 11 minutes later, Spartans charging again. Caroline Stupp gets it ahead to Airbach. She launches this shot. Waynesville leads 2-0 on a pretty goal there. Marietta starting to defend better as keeper Leah Lauer is going to block 2 consecutive shots. Marietta still trails 2-0 at the half. Second half trying to stay in it. Allie Fries crosses it, but Lauer is there with the hops for the save, but the Spartans take over. 30 minutes left in the game. This pass is centered right to Stupp. She knocks this one into the left corner, and Waynesville leads it 3-0. Stupp would get a chance again as this pass is to seemingly no one, but here she comes out of nowhere. Beautiful shot to the right corner. 4-0 Spartans lead. Waynesville now off a corner kick. Kendall Erbach finds Brooke Woody, and she gets that one in, and Waynesville advances to the state championship. Marietta falls in the semifinals 5-0 as their season ends with a 15-5-2 record. Our sports poll question from earlier tonight asked you to pick the winner of tonight's high school girls soccer Division II state semifinal game between Marietta and Waynesville. The results are in, and 80% of voters chose the Lady Tigers to come out on top. We had our first basketball action of the season as the Marietta College Lady Pioneers hosted the Washington and Jefferson Presidents. Pioneers with some ball movement. Back and forth goes to Allie Griggs to pop the three-pointer. Bounces around but does fall in. Presidents answering back as Bryn Bezjak drives in from the point and gets the one-handed lay-in for WNJ. Hannah Schill has it for the Pios. Great feed to the middle. Devin Hefner gets the bucket off the backboard. But the Presidents answer back as Megan Dryberg drills a 3 of her own off the assist. Olivia Gribble now for the Pioneers drives in. Bounce pass to Erin Hahn, who hits the mid-range jumper for Marietta as they stay alive in this one. Hahn gives it to Paige Tolson, who takes it herself, driving in behind the defense, getting the finish at the rim. Great hustle there by the guard. Kelly Levering putting in the work down low. She fights, dishes it outside as Tolson puts up the 3. Bang, it's good. But the Presidents, they answer right back as Dryberg hits a triple of her own as Washington and Jefferson begins to pull away. Dryberg now with the beautiful pass. What a beautiful finish at the rim, too, by Bezjak on the one-handed reversal. Marietta drops their season opener by a score of 67-53. And we have a final score from tonight's MACtion up in Oxford, Ohio, as the MAC leading Ohio University Bobcats took on the Miami of Ohio Redhawks. It was a true night of MACtion madness as the game was high scoring, but the Bobcats were able to hold on to the lead and pile on offensively. Curtis Rourke, like he has all season, looked like the best quarterback on the field as he threw for 365 yards and 3 touchdowns in the big win. C.A. Bangora with a huge game back from injury as he tallied up 145 yards on 20 attempts for the Bobbies. The Bobcats now extend their win streak to 5 and move to 7-3 on the season. They travel to Muncie, Indiana next week for a game with Ball State. Now, before I let you guys go for tonight, we have the WVSSAC State Volleyball Tournament held down in Charleston the next 2 days, and we have a couple of our local teams competing for the state title. First, in Class Single A, the Williamstown Yellow Jackets earn the top seed and begin their state title defense as they play Tulsa tomorrow morning. And after their regional win, the Ritchie County Rebels are ranked as the 3rd seed and play James Monroe as they look to make it back to the state title games themselves. And over in Class AAA, we have the Parkersburg Big Reds, who picked up a huge regional win and was granted the 6th seed in the state tournament. The Big Reds will play number 3 Hedgesville in the afternoon slate of the first round. It should be a very exciting couple days of volleyball action. But Phyllis, that is going to be all I have for sports for you.
A big night in sports.
Oh, it's a good one for sure. It was all action-packed, and you'll love to see it.
Thank you, Evan. When we come back, Sarah has one last look at the weather.
Tonight's Sports Bowl sponsored by Contractors Building Supply.
A red flag warning is in effect for tomorrow from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. For the entire Mid-Ohio Valley, we'll be seeing sunny and warm conditions as we move through the day. Our 7-day forecast does have sunny and breezy conditions the next couple of days ahead of a cold front moving through Friday, which will bring us some rain and much cooler temperatures as we move into the weekend. Back to you, Phyllis.
Thank you, Sarah. And before we let you go tonight, the AP Wire is calling the race for U.S. Senate in Ohio for Republican J.D. Vance. He defeats Democratic challenger Tim Ryan. And we also want to report that all 4 amendments in West Virginia have been defeated. We'll have more election coverage coming up on Wake Up MOV and Daybreak. Thank you so much for joining this election day, and good night.